sometimes I feel like there are difficulties in a lot of relationships, whether it is parent-child, husband-wife, girlfriend-boyfriend, doesn't matter. But I do feel that of late we are becoming very, very quick to judge something slightly difficult as abusive, Anil.
Yeah. And sometimes we don't give that space to see things from the other's point of view. Life can be difficult, people can be difficult because they are going through their own shit within. But if you are in a relationship, then I think itna to banta hai ki we give them a space to understand where are they coming from or what is the reason that they're doing what they're doing.
You know, personally, I think when I had a breakdown after I got married, I was involved in a lot of blame games. I had a lot of expectations from how this marriage should be, obviously inspired by the Yash Raj films that I was watching. But when you do get married, it kind of brings you to a ground zero.
No, it gives you the Yash Raj experience provided Yash Raj is directing it.
True, I didn't have a director, I didn't have the money for
See?
it. I was conditioned to believe that my life would start after I get married.
Yeah, he's coming on a black horse with a hood.
Yeah, I mean, you know, just basic things like...
And did you see him doing this to you? Kavyal.
Another psychotic boyfriend did that, but leave that on
And
the
you
side.
also start with Kavyal. But okay, jokes apart, the fact remains that that relations are made here on earth.
Yes.
And it's two different people with two different mindsets.
Yes.
They're going through their own drama, their challenges, their difficulties, their doubts.
So when I got married, before that I was conditioned to believe that my life will begin after I get married. Because if I wanted to go for dandiya, being the true blue gujju, my parents would say, oh, you do that after you get married, go with your husband. I wanted to go to a party. No, you do that after you get married. So I felt like marriage is going to be this amazing party. Now I get married to this man who's like pretty much a Buddhist Zen monk. I fell in love with the way that he looks and his stability and all of that.
You guys look like power couple together.
Yeah. And then I realized when I told him, darling, I want to do this, I want to do that. He'd be like, oh my God, I don't like any of that. Why don't you go to your father's house and do it? Literally, it sounds like something very small, but at that point of time, I felt like absolute betrayal. I felt betrayed by my parents. I felt betrayed by my husband because everything that I had dreamt of for my life is now not working.
Yeah.
And I waited and waited and waited and waited 2 years, 3 years, 4 years for my husband to make me happy. Gosh, that was exhausting. But there was one particular breakdown that I had when I thought, let me honestly have a conversation with him. And I told him, don't you see how miserable I am? And don't you see how depressed I am? And how I've stopped laughing, how I've given up my friends, how I've given up my music for you. And he said, who asked you to give it up? Now that felt like a slap to me. That felt like my sacrifices were not seen, were not acknowledged. And then he also said something else which completely shattered and broke my heart. He said, I don't know how to make you happy. You'll have to do it yourself. I was not prepared for that. I was not okay with hearing that. But in that breakdown was my biggest breakthrough. I think that that gift was the biggest gift that my husband could give me because in a way it liberated me. I took up my own charge and my own control and life changed.
Yeah.
I'm still married to the same man. It's going to be 20 years. I couldn't be happier
Yeah, I
with
think
him.
that sentence made a lot more sense now. And when you look at every relationship, it's very important to understand that there are these three aspects to a relationship. One is me, one of the component of the relationship. The other is them, the other component of the relationship. And the third thing is the thing in between both of us, the field, the relationship.
Yes.
And as long as all these three things are not nurtured simultaneously, I'll have my goals, they will have their goals, and well, there are couple goals, there are family goals, there are relationship goals. Now there's a time we take that break, we fulfill our goals. I may like skydiving, she may like scuba, and then we come back and build. So that's individually nurturing self, the others, and the space.
I prefer to look at every difficult situation as a gift And when you kind of open that gift, when you deal with that situation, there is so much to learn from there. There's so much to learn about the other person, so much to learn about myself.
You are wise, Kavyal. Not everybody who's seeing this video will be able to look at situations or problems as a gift.
I agree.
Maybe you've evolved, or maybe you've seen life a little more, or you've read more books, or you've met the right people who's probably reframed this for you.
Yeah.
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 But then not everybody watching it they may look at it as abuse, and they may be right. They may look at it as difficulty, and they may be right, because and this video, in no way what Kavyal is saying is to be understood that, well, there is a gift in the breakup, there's a gift in the difficulty, therefore you continue living the difficulty because there's a gift. See, that's abuse. That is genuine abuse. So
Right.
How do you know the difference between, where do I open the gift, or is that a thorn which is pricking me and I need to move my ass out from there?
Well, I do believe that the gift is in learning whatever it is that the difficulty is trying to teach me. Once I have learned my lesson, once I have stood up for myself, I've learned to not make up meanings about me being lesser than in the relationship. It's about me being assertive. It's about me being absolutely loving. If the abuse still continues.
I like that. Just hold on to that, okay? That's beautiful two sentence that she shared. One, I'm not less, you're not wrong. How do I now find that space between? Yeah, I'm not less and you're not wrong. And that's the space where two people can be contributive in spite of the situation.
Yes. And once you have learned those lessons, 99% of the times, the abusive dynamic may stop, because it was happening for you to learn what you needed to. But if it still continues, the partner may be an asshole.
Yeah, maybe an asshole.
Right?
Yeah.
And in that case,
there are assholic partners. You need help.
Yes.
You need legal help. You need professional therapy help. But the message out here is very clear what Kavyal is saying. I think it's being assertive, setting up those boundaries, nurturing self, growing through it, being an allowance, having the acceptance, and not just being ready to attack because life is down, but being able to see the gift, if there is a gift, and recognize the thorn and take that help.
but also this takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of patience. It takes more than 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. Sometimes it takes years.
Relationships don't come with a manual.
But every person who is coming into your life is a gift in some way or the other. Some people teach us through light. Some people teach us through darkness.
Yeah.
I prefer to call them my dark gurus. I read this somewhere and I loved it.
Yeah.
That sometimes the people who you don't like are teaching you how not to be. They are putting you through pain and they are teaching you through darkness. But there is a gift in there also.
Some people do come into our lives to teach us what love is not.
But they also teach us then what love is by helping you to learn what self-love is, what boundaries are, what assertiveness is, what learning to say no to is.
And not to be so quick to judge, not to be so quick to jump into that conclusion, but to understand what are these shadows and to know that shadow is only a proof that there is light somewhere.